Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow travelers. Obelix here, back with you today from FTB Revelation. How y'all doing today, peeps? Boy, it has been a hot minute since we've been up on here. Never fret, guys, it's still here. The big, beautiful factory in the background. All the things we have worked on so far this season. The Tower of Power, which we're going to get started on very soon. So, guys, I don't remember where the heck we were. I thought I had my jetpack on. Oh, we gotta do the be quiet jetpack thing. Oh, gotta get up high enough. And let's see if I remember how to do this. Options, sounds. Is it note blocks? No. Is it? Which one is it? One of these. Player. There we go. Now the jetpack will be quiet. So for those that don't know, if you have a Simply Jetpacks 2 jetpack, you can do that little player trick and it shuts it up. Hallelujah. Alright, guys. Big beautiful factory. Tower of Power, still working on. Hadn't made a whole lot of progress since we got the structure in place. Got a whole bunch of stuff here. Still looking at the Cakerator. Hadn't forgot. Oh my god, I think we have a few cows. I'm gonna have to do some cow killing, I can see. Anyway, why are these spilling out of here like this? This shouldn't be a thing. Anyway, still working on the Cakerator. I actually built it in a test world and modernized it quite a bit because there's been some changes in Botania. And yeah, just a few little kinks I need to finish working out. I worked on it for a couple hours yesterday, as a matter of fact. So we should have that ready to go here before long, hopefully, if I can get those few kinks worked out. And then we're going to have probably a tutorial on it for you guys that are interested in how to build the crazy thing. But today, guys, I don't remember what the heck I promised y'all we'd be working on, so I'm not even going to worry about it. We're just going to work on stuffs. Now, I know that we need to come down in our factory. Let's just remind ourselves of our big, beautiful factory. We got a little smokestack over there. That's actually Tinker's Construct. So we got a furnace and a smelter right there that come up into these cool smokestacks on our factory. Then we've got our little storage room here with our Pam's, or Cooking for Blockhead's Kitchen to cook our Pam's Harvest Craft stuff. Thank goodness we don't have Spice of Life, so we can just eat anything we want, but we wanted to go ahead and do Cooking for Blockheads and get a nice little kitchen together. We got our little bedroom here with our, I can't get in the thing, little closet here with our replenishment armor. All the little things, should we die, we can grab and go. I don't think we did anything over here. Yeah, we just put stuff there. We've got our little respawn beds here. We got a bow and a sword there ready to rock. So if we die, we've got our little trophy room over here. I believe this is it rustic? Yeah, no, open blocks. Puts these little things here. So yeah, we've put our little all our little different trophies, and if you click them, they do something. You know, depending on what it is. Zombie, I think, just makes the zombie growl. Bat, I think, makes the squeaky squeak or something. He drops water everywhere. We're not gonna mess with him. But yeah, then we've got our refined storage system set up over here. Tons of crafting ability. And we've got deep storage. A couple of rows of deep storage here. And a couple of rows of compacting storage here. So tons and tons and tons of storage. We got a little rustic setup over here where we're making the various wines and whatnot that provide you boons in some form or fashion. We've got our IC2 over there. We've got some more rustic setups here. A little bit of actually additions going on. So this is where I do my charger rating of my batteries. So we can go ahead and switch out batteries while we're here. And we can repair anything in here as well. Got a little Ender IO set up here. We've got some industrial foregoing going on over here, as well as thermal expansion. Why do I have industrial foregoing mixed with... This is supposed to be the thermal expansion. It's like, did I think this was thermal expansion for some reason? Anyway, that should be moved into the industrial foregoing section, which we actually don't have. Got a little forestry section over here because we've been working on some bees kind of on and off, way off in the distance out there. As well as we got a little bee setup out to the side out there, outside. Got a little RF tools going on. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it? But we've done a lot with a little, I guess. Come down another level, we've got a huge immersive engineering setup. So we've got a diesel generator, which is our primary power for the base currently. So we're producing the hemp. So we're using the hemp seeds over here, smashing them down and making plant oil. And then we're producing sugar cane, which we are sending up and over and around. Don't touch those hurt. Bad news bears. And it's dropping down right here and coming into this little guy, which is making ethanol. We're pushing the ethanol and the plant oil into this little guy, which is making biodiesel, which is going into our diesel generator and producing us boat tons of power. So we've got some more. We've got an arc furnace. We got a mixer. We got a cool little setup over here to make steel. So we can pipe coal in here. We get the coal coke, which will pop out here. I'm sorry, it pops over. I think it just goes directly in there. Yeah, it just goes directly into here. And then, we feed it blocks of iron, and then we get out tons of steel here, and as well as slag. So it works pretty cool and looks cool, I think. I like those coke furnaces and that little setup right there. We've got our little setup here for Botania, so we can flip this lever and make living wood, or flip this lever and make living rock. We've just got some wireless setups here, which I can't jump on. I need to fly like an eagle. And you'll see way over there in the distance. Do I have Optifine on this one? No. I forgot I had that. That's the Z key. So we've got our living wood and living rock automatic setups right there. We've got tons, so we really don't need to do it right now. So if we continue on down, we get into a wall. Ow, painful. And we've got our little supervisor office, which we haven't worked on yet. And this is all of our automatic ore processing, though this is about to change because I set all this up and I just really didn't like it. I like the looks of it, don't get me wrong. I just don't like how it's doing it, and I think we can do better. So we're going to change this around. We're going to work on changing this around and do some cool things with it. Then we've got all of our auto crafting here, and obviously we haven't set up a whole ton of it, but we've got some little IC2 back there. We've got some thermal expansion here, some Ender IO there, and some not immersive engineering. What the heck is it? Industrial foregoing set up over here for those stonework factories. So we're doing some nifty things there. We've got a long way to go, Then if we go down even further, we've got another power plant set up over here where we are taking all of these plants, so cactus and wheat and beets and all these different little plants, we are shipping them. Oh, I can't get around here. This place is tight quarters. We're shipping them into these drawers. We're processing them over here as they need to be processed, shipping them back to the drawers, sending them to this thing, because this bioreactor takes different materials. The more different materials you have, the more biofuel it produces, or the quicker it produces biofuel. So you want this efficiency at 100%. To get it at 100%, you have to feed it 9 different things. So we're producing cactus dye, melon seeds, pumpkin seeds, beetroot seeds, seeds, carrots, 2 different kinds of mushrooms, and potatoes. So one thing I didn't show was the mushrooms. They're actually growing over here in these little machines right here. And you are totally here in my mob farm, which we will get to in a minute. But let's take those guys down quite a bit. And yeah, we've got these little mushroom growers right here that are producing all of our mushrooms for us. So these guys, I've got 2 setups of these. So this guy also is producing the biofuel. Then it's shipping it down this line. And each one of these can run, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 4. So that'd be 28 of these biofuel generators. So we've got one there running these 28, and we've got one here running these 28 biofuel generators. And these guys are just producing power for us whenever necessary. And as you can see, that little thing is completely filled up, so it really isn't that necessary. Mostly they just run this guy when I'm actually running this guy, but I'm not running him right now because we have tons of resources. We really don't need any resources right now. But it's also sending it into our network, power-based network, so we can do more with it if we should need to. Over here we've got some, we're producing GP with water generators. We've got some fire generators here, or fire mills. We've got a lava mill, some windmills, and a dragon egg mill, because we have killed the Ender Dragon. So we're producing tons of GP. We've got our Embers Rekindled set up over here. We played around with that a little bit. We've got Deep Resonance set up over here, a very cool mod I want to do some nifty things with, just because that looks super cool and sounds super cool. So we're definitely going to do some stuff with this. We've got our little setup over here for it to actually produce the best crystals it can possibly produce. So we're getting that going. Over here we've got yet another power plant where we are growing canola and sending the canola and the seeds over here. The canola is then being pressed and fermented and sent into these. Now we are going to expand upon this and take it up to top tier. That is one of our plans we'll be working on here shortly. And pretty much this guy's only powering the canola farm up there, so it's really not used for much of anything at the moment. We do have a little setup over here to produce industrial foregoing plastic as well. Let's see what else. This was kind of our little starter base. We haven't done much with it in a long time. If we go down again, I haven't done anything down here. I have dug it out a lot, I think, since the last episode. I don't think this was dug out last time. We've got our little portal there to the mining dimension, and we've got a mob farm over here that is, as you can see, super duper efficient. So behind these walls, I've just got a dark room, a super duper dark room. Why is this light? Oh, it's light because of these lamps on the walls. Ew, that's cutting down my efficiency. If you don't know, these little lamps right here, Torchmaster lamps, light up a huge area, but they do traverse through walls. As you can see, this is very, very bright and shouldn't be. So that is actually cutting down on my efficiency. No bueno. I'll need to think about that. I may decide not to use those. But obviously you can see it's not hurting my farm any. It's cruising like crazy. Got that little Ender IO deal right there that is sucking the mobs that spawn in dark areas and pulling them on top of these spikes and murdificating them. And we do have Blaze up there, so that will spawn in out of that little Resturb spawner up there. Then we got a little deal here that supposedly prevents Endermen from teleporting. It doesn't work so great, because I do see them teleporting all the time. Let's see if we go down further. And again, we come down to our mining level, where I've done quite a bit of digging, as you can see. Then, where is it? Oh, we got our little pit over there. That's the power of tower. Tower power. There you go. Them's the words. You can see it goes all the way to surface. We just dug this down to bedrock, and we do have flat bedrock in this pack. So I'm so rich I don't even need to get diamonds off the wall. Look at that. And then we've done quite a bit of digging down here as well, but we've also set up some environmental technologies. This is kind of my very first mine. You see I had all my mining stuff down here. So we set up environmental technologies down here as well. Let's get rid of that little bar. So we've got some tier 1, I think these are resource? No, these are ore miners. Here, just spitting items into these drawers, and I'm pretty sure all these are full. Yeah, I imagine they're all capped did I turn them off? Maybe I turned them. I don't remember. Whatever. So, one of the things we're going to work on is getting all of this mess properly sorted and processed, because right now it's just sitting here a big cluster mess. So I need to get it from down here upstairs and processed. So we're going to do that with, I have my jetpack on still, by sorting them into categories, because there's so many different ores. So I've broken them into various categories. So we've got storage only. So these can just go directly into our storage system. We don't need to do anything fancy with them at all. We just drop them right into storage. But then we've got ones that need to just go into a crusher. So these 4 right here need to be crushed. Don't need to do anything else with them besides crush them. Then we've got furnace only. This just push it directly into the furnace. You don't need to crush it. You don't need to do anything. Now these guys need to both be crushed and then go into a furnace. So we got to pulverize them, crush them, whatever machine we choose to use. But then we need to cook the powder that comes out of there. So we'll need to set up a system for that. And then this set of material just gets fortuned. We just want to break it with the equivalent of a fortune pickaxe. So we've got 5 different setups we need to account for. And we need to get the resources from downstairs up here. Then we need to sort them all into these 5 categories. And then from there, process them. So that is the plan, I think, for today. It's going to be a bit of a lengthy process, but it should be pretty fun. So let me gather up some resources, get this ready to go, and we will move on. All right, so let me show you my basic thoughts here. We've got to get a way to get the items from downstairs to up here, as we talked about. Then, once it's up here, we're just simply going to use conveyors, because pretty heavily focused, as you saw, on immersive engineering in this series. So we're going to use conveyors to send the material down here. Then we're going to use these item routers to control where they go. So they'll feed in here to the red side. So this will be the feed in. But then we can output from the green, the blue, the yellow, the white, or there's even a color underneath here if we want to raise them up a block. The black should be on the bottom. So we can sort various items to various sides. Now you can see you can do 8 per side, but you can see over here that some of these, that'll work fine for this, this, not so much for this and this. So what we'll probably do is this first item router will probably pull out maybe 2 of these material. Then we'll set up maybe even 3. We could probably pull another set out of the top since there's only one thing. And then we'll set another item router a little further out that maybe pulls out all of these. And then, whatever's left over is just this stuff. So that's probably how we're going to do this. And then we'll set up some machines to process all the resources for each segment. Question though, should we use these conveyors, which are cool, maybe set them on some steel scaffolding? There's some steel scaffolding. Or should we use these conveyors? Or combination? Because I want this to look cool. I want it to look very factory. I mean, we aren't in a factory, right? We're in the basement of a factory. But I wanted to kind of hold that aesthetic. And so let's see. I mean, we could do something like this, where we run them like so, and then we run these on top. And that's pretty cool, because you can see the items cruising along, doing their thing. We can put the item router there, and you can see there is a black down here, so you can pop items down below as well. So if we put some conveyors down here, we can use the black channel to sort some items as well, which is kind of cool. Also, if we let me think about this now. We could. Now, one of the cool things about scaffolding is you can just climb right up it. Really comes in handy. We could do something like this. And then we could use our hammer and turn this around and then put a dropping conveyor right there. And then feed the items in on the top, and then we can use this side as an output as well. So we could, you know, just pop a conveyor, you know, turn it around and, you know, run it down here and go off to the side somewhere. Have this one run out this way. Have, you know, this one can come out here. We can use the hammer to turn that down. So I think there's some cool things we could do with this to get the maximum value out of each item router. And get kind of this cool, crazy... at the end of the day, I want kind of a cool, crazy setup where you just stand back over here and you just see items just running around everywhere like crazy. I think that'll be really cool. The first thing we got to do is get the items from way down there to up here. And I was looking through the pack to see what was available that we could use. And I wanted to use Ender Chest, but there's only the vanilla Ender Chest in here in this pack. So that's kind of my go-to. Oh, no, there's not. We do have Ender Chest. Look at this. Ender Storage. This is what I wanted to use. So we could absolutely use this. We could also use Dimensional Transceivers from Ender.io. That's an option. So there's a couple different things we could do to wirelessly, and that's the important part, wirelessly transfer items. But I think we're going to use these Ender Chests. I do like these guys. So let's go build a couple of these. They're just really convenient. I don't know why I always come up here to craft things, even though I have, you know, these flipping tables everywhere. I don't know. I really like it up here. So I want to make actually a pattern for this guy. So we're going to come in here, and I don't know if we have the pattern for a chest yet. White wool. Yeah, the only thing we need is a chest. So I need to see if I have a pattern for a chest. And you will see when I pull this pattern out, it automatically refilled. That's because we have an autocraft set for patterns back here, so it'll always hold 64. So I'm going to switch this to display only craftables, and I'm going to look for chest. Okay, we do have a pattern for an oak chest, so we're fine. If we didn't have one, we would have needed to populate it with one. Let's see. I try to avoid mixing my patterns with, you know, other things that might be crafted in the same recipe. Kind of keep them all spread out. So now we should be able to make these Ender Chests. Now these aren't vanilla Ender Chests. These are special. So let's produce 2 of these bad boys. And if you've never seen these before, you will see that they are fairly cool. They look quite a bit different than a regular Ender Chest. They don't have the particle effects, and they've got these little gold sides and these 3 pips along the top, and this gold buckle on the front. Now the important thing is these 3 pips and this gold buckle on the front. Now if you open one, you'll see that they both open. They've got the little spinny ball inside of them, and it looks and works just like a regular Ender Chest. So if I take a piece of bread and stick it right there in the center of that Ender Chest, and then I come over here to this Ender Chest, I can see and pull out that piece of bread. But where these guys really become powerful is if you start playing with things like color. So you can take the 16 Minecraft colors and color these pips, these 3 pips, in any pattern you want of any of those 16 colors. So this pip can be any of the 16 colors, this pip can be any 16 colors, and this pip can be any 16 colors. And that's like a combination. Think of it like a combination lock. So right now the combination is set to white, white, white. And this guy is set to white, white, white. Well, if I come over here and I change the center, the first pip, I was going to try to hit the center, but I missed. So if I change the first pip to green, these guys aren't linked anymore. So see, when I open this one, this guy doesn't open. So if I put our piece of bread in here, I will not see it in here because they're no longer linked because their color combinations don't match. Now if I take a piece of green dye and color the center, or the outside again, now they're linked again and I can see the bread. So super handy. However, I can change it again and you can see they're no longer linked again. So I would have to come over here and link this guy with the same color pattern, and now we can see our bread. Now I've actually lost the previous piece of bread. Remember, we started with 10, I'm down to 9 because it's still locked in the ender chest that is only one green. So if I come over here and say ender, and let's craft another one, please, thank you. And I switch back to my normal view and go dye and pull out the green dye. And we'll grab a few pieces of yellow as well. If I take this guy and just place him down here, and I put our green right there, now I can see that original piece of bread, but it's not from over here. So you see I put a piece of bread here. These two both see a piece of bread. Excuse the beating in the background, guys. That's we're having some construction done on the house here, and they've been beaten for 4 days now, and I haven't been able to record. I've been trying to avoid it because I didn't want you guys having to listen to all that, but I had to get on and record. This is getting crazy. So you can see I've got the dye in here, but you don't see it over here. You see the bread. But if I change the color, then I'm going to lose access to those items until I recolor it back to the color that is necessary. Now, just to show you can use other colors as well, I can color this guy yellow, and now he becomes his own. So his pattern is green, yellow, green. His pattern is green, white, green, and his pattern is green, white, white. So the pattern is important. Now, that's kind of the combination lock on the top of the chest. There's one other special feature of these chests, and that is this buckle right here. If it is gold, as these all are, these are public chests, and anyone that sets their chest to this pattern can open it up and pull out whatever's inside. It's a great way to share items if you're playing on a server with your friends. Then you're at your base and they're at their base, and they say, hey, do you happen to have some of this thing? And you're like, oh yeah, I sure do. Maybe you guys live a long way from each other and it's a long trip and you don't want to make the trip over there and he doesn't want to make the trip over to you. Say, hey, I'll plop down an inner chest and I'll set green, white, green, and I'll dump it in it. You pop it in it. He sets down an inner chest with green, white, green. He can grab the item out of there, or she, because these are public chests. Anyone can access them. Now, if you want to make them private chests, and I highly recommend you do if you're playing on a public server and you're not wanting to share your items with other people, if you want to use it more as an ender chest, or you want to transfer items from your farm to your storage, then make them private so you're not consuming public channels. The way you do that is with a diamond, and you're simply going to click this buckle on the front with a diamond. When you do this, this makes this chest private. It locks it personally to you. So this is your green, yellow, green chest. So anything you put in here, put my 10 stacks of bread in here, is just for you. So if I make this chest green, yellow, green, we do not see those 10 pieces of bread, and the chest does not open. So you can see this is personally ours because of the diamond, and this is still community green, white, or green, yellow, green. So personal green, white, man, my tongue is all twisted. Personal green, yellow, green, private, public. Golly, words. Let's try that again. I want to get it right so you guys understand. So when you have the diamond on the front, and this blue color, the green, yellow, green is personal. When it's the gold color and it's green, yellow, green, it's public. Anyone can access it that matches the pattern on the top. You still have to meet the combination lock, the top color combination lock. Now, if I go set this guy to a personal chest as well, then they both act exactly as each other, and I can actually use this concept to send items from my farm downstairs, just pipe everything into this chest, and then put a chest upstairs. It'll have all the same resources and just pipe the items out. So that's what we're going to use. Super handy way to do that. So, and they keep their colorations when you pick them up, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if actually you can change these back to public. I've never actually tried. I'm guessing it would be, if you could do it, it would just be gold, right? That makes sense. Maybe it's a nugget. I don't know. For science! Gold nugget? No. Gold ingot? No. So maybe these just are permanent, personal, forever. I don't know. There may be a way to change it back, but I don't know what it is, if there is. So if you know, drop a comment down yonder. And I will science it up and give it a try. So we're going to grab 2 of these. We're going to put this guy back down. You'll see they do not stack, because these 2 stack because they have the exact same settings. Notice it says Obelix on it. Notice this one does not. It says green, white, white, but it does not say Obelix. This one says green, yellow, green, but it does say Obelix. So these are the personal ones. These are the public ones. So you can even see that in the mouse over. And I think we're going to change it to... mining is very gray. So I think we're going to go with... We should be able to dye these with gray powders, I think. Let's see. Because remember, we have a farm that produces these floral gray powders. And yes, you can. Si se puede. Nice. So we've got them linked as gray, 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 and that's going to be our mining chests. Perfect. And they're relatively inexpensive, so these come out to be really, really handy. Oh, that's such a long way down. So what we'll do is we'll probably just break this line. Say, put these drawers down here so we could see what all resources we're gathering and in what quantities. So this is every ore that these guys have collected. So what we're going to do at the end of the day is probably just break this line like right here, because we really don't need this anymore. Now that we know what resources we're gathering, that way we can kind of do our little sorting upstairs. And we'll put this chest just like right there. Set it to insert, and it's just going to start getting a crap ton of resources. Probably a lot of the same things, and that's fine. And then we'll go upstairs and do the same thing. Okay. And I don't know where we're actually going to start this or what it's going to look like, but just temporarily we'll pop it right here. And you can see it's filling up a treat with tons and tons of resources that we're gathering from downstairs. So now we can pipe out of here and start processing these guys. So we need to work on that, but I think we will do that in the next episode. This has been kind of a crazy, talky, long episode of Doom and Destruction because we had a lot of catching up to do. It's been a while since we've been up on here. We need to catch ourselves up on where we were at and what we were doing, and we spent some time actually talking about these chests because I've gotten a ton of questions in the past. I used them on Project Ozone Light and some other series, and I get asked, hey, how do those work? What do they do? So there you go. That's kind of the ins and outs of these little guys. Not a whole lot of to them, but it's you jump on a server you've not played modded before and you have no clue what these things are and how they work. It can be a little tricky, especially the differentiation between the private network and the public network. So really important to keep track of. So you're not throwing your stuff out on the public network if you didn't intend to do that. So we all know we can play on servers, and sometimes there's some squirrels be playing with you, and they be hoarding all your stuff. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. And next episode, we will get to work on sorting and processing all these material. And until next time, you guys get out there and make some noise. See ya.